we have the Paris Agreement to be implemented by 2030, starting from 2015. The issue is that if we don't have enough resource mobilization, we wouldn't be able to implement the Paris Agreement. The question will be that, are we going for another, agreement after 2030? And the question is why we have not fulfilled the implementation of the Paris Agreement. In the arrangement of the Paris Agreement, we have three windows of resources. We have finance, technology, and capacity building, but are all approximated to financing. And we are talking about 1.1 trillion that could be designated or supported to implement the Paris Agreement by developing countries, including Africa. But we have not been able to meet all these targets. We promised in 2009 at Copenhagen that we need to mobilize 100 billion every year for the implementation of the Paris Agreement. We have not been able to mobilize that. And so we are here, which COP that is focusing on financing. Next year, the focus may change. Last year, it was energy, and we concluded on phase out rather than phase down. So as we are here today, we don't want to go to Brazil next year to be talking about finance. And so we set the target that we are agreeing on the long-term finance goal to meet the target of the implementation of the Paris Agreement. What are we hearing? That the developed countries do not have funds? We want to hear that they are prioritizing climate change and they want to support the developing countries to implement the agenda. And we want to also hear that they are the polluters and they want to release funds out of compensation for developing countries to implement the agenda. And we also understand that, yes, it is fair to say that funds are not adequately available because we have all gone through COVID-19 with crisis and then other crises globally. But then there's a need for priority. And at this COP, we want them to agree that we can mobilize the 1.1 trillion and the increased phase of 1.8 trillion to implement the Paris Agreement. It is not even about 250 million, but we are even talking about a total budget to be agreed and supported as 1.1 trillion, 1.8 trillion by 2030. Yeah, so it's good to listen. It's good to listen. It's good to appreciate the concern from developing countries. It is a world we are creating together. It's a safe world, a clean world, a green world we are creating together. The situation in Europe escalate to Africa and developing countries and vice versa. We are not only talking about adaptation, but we are also talking about mitigation. Reduction in the global emission is a concern to all of us. While doing that, African countries, Africa will be most vulnerable, and we need a lot of adaptation and resilience. By in entirety, we need a fund to be able to support implementation. But we need to agree that they are contributing this particular amount. It's not just a say, but we want to hear from them, agreed at this COP as part of the session, and that's all we want, and that's where we have come to the COP. The loss and damage fund has been created, but no money in. Green Climate Fund created, established, no money in. Adaptation Fund, no money. Jeff, no money. And so we want them to say that their promises will be done here, and then the fulfillment of the promises are also put in a decision at this COP. And that is what we want. We need to agree. Developed countries hear from us. We want to agree that you are going to take care of, collaboratively, take care of the budget for the implementation of the Paris Agreement. If we need our commitment as developing countries, we should finalize that decision. But it's not also coming from them to ask us how much developing countries should contribute. They are not asking us how much we want to contribute. But once they feel committing to the finance, we want to hear from them what exactly they want to contribute to the finance for the implementation. Yeah.